Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I built another house in The Sims 4. So I didn't really have a plan going into this. I just knew I wanted it to be more traditional and just a single level home. So I started to come up with a backstory as the build progressed because I was really enjoying using more of the cats and dogs, doors and windows. So I thought maybe I should make this a little more themed towards someone with a dog. So as I continued building, I came up with like a backstory of who would live in this home. So I thought maybe a middle-aged woman and her single dog. I tried to think that maybe she was a dog trainer when she was younger, used to train dogs, show dogs, breed them, dog walker, groomer, all of that sort of thing. So I thought maybe she finally retired from all that and settled down in a nice suburban home with her dog. And you can see towards the end in the side yard that I did, it has some of the course things, like the training things. So maybe she still trains her dog and helps train other dogs so their owners can take them to shows and do things like that. I know that's not a thing in The Sims 4, but just trying to think more realistically to develop more of a backstory on this. So I prefer to build more traditional homes. I think it's just easier for me. I mean, because I don't like how boxy and I don't like the huge windows in modern homes and all that. So I just really prefer to do the suburban house style. So as you can see in some of the rooms, it's more carpet and wallpaper compared to like the bathroom and the kitchen where there's newer tiles and just you can tell it's been renovated and updated. I also imagine the woman here living here had no children, no spouse at all. I just figured she was just so focused with her dogs and raising little puppies and doing all that that she just really didn't care to settle down with someone. So when I build my houses, I try to focus on the front first, or if there's something really specific I want to do in a build, such as a special porch feature or like a sunroom sort of with the big windows and all that, I do that first and then I build the rest of the house around it so I know that it'll work and flow together and to make sure I really get the piece that I wanted most in the build. And I also prefer to do traditional homes. I don't do many modern. I used to do modern homes when I first started playing The Sims when it came out back in 2014, but I did modern just for the simple fact that they were just straight up boxes with the big windows, and the main reason I actually did it, now that I think about it, is the roofing. I used to always use just the straight flat roof with the trim and a floor tile up there because I could never get my roofs to look decent and realistic. I just didn't know how to do it, and I didn't really know how to build, so I just did a box with a bunch of windows and called it a house. But as I've practiced and developed my experience, I guess, in this game, I've come to really enjoy doing more traditional houses with bigger, more fancier floor plans and roofs. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of larger houses. I like to do them once in a while. It just depends. It's just hard sometimes because it's overwhelming to look at the huge space that you have to fill and then try to figure out how to do the floor plan, because I feel as if that's probably the hardest part for a lot of people is deciding how to do the floor plan. Oh, and to backtrack, another reason why I did the modern homes was just because it was just a huge open floor plan. Everything was in one space and you didn't need to separate it at all. But now I don't really like that. It's just I feel like there's so much empty space and I don't know what to put in it to fill it up, because I like my homes to be very lived in and cluttered and just look more realistic in my opinion. So when I furnish my houses and move on to the interior and things like that, I usually start with the kitchen. I never build the floor plan right away. I don't just map out all the rooms and then start furnishing. I usually go straight to the kitchen and build the walls around it just so I have a feel of how big the build is and size-wise for rooms. So I just put in the basic things in the kitchen and then I move usually onto the dining room because they coincide with each other. And another reason that I don't do the floor plan first. I just kind of build it room by room is because it's hard for me to like judge the sizes and things like that. And also a side note right here with this Parenthood cabinet, I love that full cabinet length, but I just don't like how it doesn't protrude out like and match up with the rest of the cabinet, so I always have to slide it down and layer another cabinet over it just so they are all seamless and they match. So that's just what I like to do with that, if that bothers you guys at all too. But like I said, I usually build room by room just so it helps me make sure the room sizes are adequate for what it's supposed to be, so I don't have one really massive room for something that doesn't need that much space, and then I have this tiny little bedroom or bathroom where I gotta cramp everything in, and it's just, that's how I do it because I have a hard time judging the size of something. So a lot of my builds turn out kind of small when I do the outside of them, just because, like I said, I have a hard time judging the size and how much room you actually need for everything. So just a tip for you guys, if you wanted to like try to make your rooms seem more filled up and like the proper size, just when you're doing the inside, don't do the floor plan right away. Just kind of work room by room and see what you can fit in there first, and it just makes it a whole lot easier for me personally. So now we are working on the bathroom, and I usually never do the tub and the shower separate. I like to do them just in the combo one because my bathrooms aren't really that big most of the time, but this one was big enough and I liked that huge window there, so I thought it'd be cool to put the tub right up against it. So now we are also working on the dining room. I really like the rug that I used under the dining table. It is so nice to be able to finally size down objects in the game, because now we can use all these super large rugs and it just gives the game more content feel than what it really is. So also here I did this cool thing with the curtains. Other people probably do it too, but I put it halfway on the window on one side and do the same on the other, so it kind of looks like it's spread apart a bit, just because I didn't think the other curtains worked well with it. Like the white shade one that's in the bathroom, because it's such a large window, I feel like it should go all the way down, if that makes sense. But now I'm just rearranging the windows in the front area a bit because I wanted to have like a console table right in the front, so that's what I'm about to put in here. Again, I did the same thing with the curtains. I had to move the window out of the way to get them to the right level that I wanted. And usually while furnishing, I try to keep the same wooden color in the room, so keep the same tone of woods. But as newer packs are coming out, a lot of the swatches are different, so it's harder to get an exact match for every item you want to use. So I find it kind of nice to be able to maybe use 2 to 3 at most different tones of wood in the same room. So I made the table a lighter wood, I think it might have been white, and then the rest of the room has a darker wood just to make it easier on the eye and break it up. I was going to use that shoe rack, but the wood was a lot darker than the other wood in the room, and I thought that was going to be like too much of a contrast. I like things to kind of match and go together. But right now we're just getting some dog food bowls for the dog that lives in this home. Like I said, I think it'll be like a bigger dog, maybe a German Shepherd or a Husky or a Dalmatian or something. But I just really had a hard time picking a rug for under the food bowl, because some of the rugs that they put out with for the under the food bowl is like really tiny, the ones with the paw prints, and yeah. So now I'm just going back and changing colors of things. Like I said, I usually just put down base things until I figure out like what kind of style. So I kind of figured out my style for the rest of the build while doing the dining room, so I just had to go back and make it more of a traditional warm, cozy, homey look sort of thing. So now we're moving on to the bedroom. So it's just a single bedroom. Well, it's a double bed, but there's only one bedroom in this home. So I decided to use this bed from the Cats and Dogs pack. I really like the little quilt patterns they have, and then I just got the dog bed out that matched the bed. I liked that one. So I have wallpaper in this room, and same with dining room, whereas the bathroom, the kitchen, and then eventually the living room all is more of just a paint on the wall, because I figured the house would have been renovated over time and updated, except for just a few rooms, you know. So here's another example of using different wooden tones in the same room. So like I used a white dresser, a dark brown mirror, and then the brown of the bed frame, and then the end tables are just a white as well to go with the dresser. So it all kind of connects in. Like I also did the ship's wheel on the one wall, which was a dark brown that matched with the mirror. So just certain things connect and match, and then it's a nice balance. That's just what I like to do. So now we are trying to pick out a rug for the living area. So I actually layered 2 rugs for this. I don't usually do it often, but I really liked the way this turned out looking with the 2 rugs layered. And I ended up using okay, I love these end tables, by the way, but I don't like how the TVs don't snap to them right away, so I just used the move objects sheet and press the 9 key to move it up. And I really enjoy that couch. I think it looks so nice. I've never used it before any of my other builds that I've done on my own time, but I just did the matching chair next to it. That end table is really nice. I really like it. And then just a bookcase in the corner to fill up the space a little bit, and a painting on the wall. So I used a smaller TV in this because I felt like, since this is an older woman living here and she's so focused on her dogs and really she's got like not a lot of time to sit around and watch TV, you know. So that's just was my thought process behind it. And now we're just adding in little details, and I made this little nook and area for her computer. And I like that old school little lamp right there. I thought that just worked so nicely with the rest of the feel of the house. And the calendar, I really like that too. I said like a lot in this video, but I feel like, again, she would use this computer to maybe get in contact with her, like, you know how you can talk to your friends like online in this. So I feel like she would use it to contact other Sims in the world with dogs and promote her business of training the dogs, and maybe she could groom the dogs for people and do that sort of thing. So now I'm going back in actually with the kitchen, like I said before, where I usually don't fully furnish the kitchen until the very end of the build, just put the last final touches on it. And another point of sizing down objects where it worked really well was doing those blinds that I did, because the one was off center, so I just did 2 and overlapped them in the smaller size. But yeah, that's basically the build for the interior, I guess. So now I just moved a lot over, and I'm going to start doing the fenced in side yard. So I really like the way side yards look compared to just doing traditionally always a backyard in my other stuff. So I just sized down this tree too, because I do like this tree a lot, but it was way too big before, so sizing it down really just let it fit more naturally into the lot. And here is the training area for all the dogs that she trains, and I did some dog toy things and put all the balls down. And I hate doing landscapes, honestly. It's so overwhelming to look at all that space and try to figure out what to put everywhere. And so now I'm just trying to get some plants in, like a little garden area. I usually just do the garden like right by the front of the house, like around the porch and steps area. So I really like that one like hosta looking bush, that one right there that comes with the base game. I like that. And then I love those little grass kind of lower plants. I always put that under the rest of them just to make it look more lush and full. And now I'm just putting some dirt down and giving a little path, you know, adding in some garden lights. I usually forget to do garden lights and like lights on the front of the house, but I did one, I think, above the door. Now I'm just using some terrain paint, getting some more trees, and making it look a little roughed up under the training course just to show that dogs have been running on it and stuff. So that's the end of the build. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe if you liked it, and let me know what you think down below.